This is the future. Evolution.
The Crossing Realms Conference launches September 19th and 20th and will dock in Richmond, Missouri. This is already being called the event of the year, folks. With an unprecedented list of speakers and special guests, 2 days of cryptids, UFOs, and paranormal presentations, along with a celebrity-filled ghost hunt, meet and greet, gallery reading, vendors, and a film screening. This promises to be both educational and fun. Go to Eventbrite.com to secure your tickets and vendor slots before they are all abducted. They're going fast.
There you are. Hey, everybody. It's Brunch with Bigfoot Michiganrob. Thanks to everybody for coming in. We have a pretty good show for you today. It's kind of cool today. I've got Tex had the day off, so he's sitting in. Thanks to Tex. And Krista, well, she's kind of working, but she's at the house, so she's going to join us. So we've got a kind of a combo show for you. Thanks to everybody for coming in. If you are new here, please subscribe to Bigfoot Michiganrob on YouTube, Texas Front Porch on YouTube, The Blinds and the Booze Paranormal Podcast found on YouTube, Monica Rollins, Our Paranormal World, Donnie Cho Says So, Paranormal Paul, Daniel Diva, you can find her on YouTube, and Truth or Tinfoil. So yeah, check us out. Give us a thumbs up. Appreciate it. Also, thanks to everybody for buying my books. You can find them on Amazon, folks. Bigfoot Michiganrob presents True Cryptid Encounters Book 1, Book 2. Simply type Bigfoot Michiganrob in your Amazon browser. I do appreciate that. You can also find us on Spreaker, iHeartRadio, Spotify, wherever podcasts are found. So please go check those out. We do appreciate the love and support there. What else we got going on? Yeah, we've got, of course, the Eventbrite.com. Go check it out. We got that conference coming up. Added yet another venue. We're doing a party, a pre-party. I'll let Krista talk about a little bit at a ranch, the OK Corral. No, just kidding. It's a place we're all going to hang out on that Thursday night. We're going to hang out and, get together with all you guys, ticket holders only, of course. With that being said, we're going to get this party started. I title this Bigfoot BBQ with Tex and Krista. We're not barbecuing today, but I thought it sounded cool. What's up, Krista?
Hey, now I got to tell you, you misled me because it said Bigfoot barbecue. I was thinking we were going to eat, just saying.
Well, we could eat. But that would be kind of rude to eat all the fabulous brisket in front of everybody.
Maybe so.
Speaking of brisket, Tex, you probably grill up a mean brisket.
I've been known to.
I mean,
it takes me about 16 to 18 hours, but yeah.
Wow.
Low and slow, brother.
Low and slow on a smoker?
Yep.
Now, you also know how to grill with charcoal and all that as well. You do both.
Yeah.
You prefer to use a smoker?
I cook a mean grilled chicken.
Ooh.
Okay, let's switch subjects because you're making me hungry, and I have not.
Well, we have Miss Krista, who she's doing a great job, fantastic job with her little program.
Mm-hmm.
You're looking very nice, Krista. You've always looked nice to me, but I know your efforts you're putting into your weight loss, so you look good.
Thank you.
You've always looked good. Just saying, you look good again.
She looks better.
Better. There you go.
Yeah, I guess that's the word.
Well, you know what, though? I left work early to go get my shots. I get 2 shots. I get a mixed shot, and then I get the weight loss shot. And I got there, and she's like, "You're going to kill me." She says, "Our shipment, we're all out, and our shipment's not going to be there until after 3 today." So I didn't get my shot before, so I got to go back. Oh, well.
Yeah, well, hey, whatever works.
Life. Yeah, I was just hoping not to have to go anywhere this afternoon, except to bed.
Going to bed.
Yeah, I'm tired. I was up late last night. I had heartburn. So I was up late and I just want to, after the show, I'm going to go chill, watch some TV.
After this show, unfortunately, I have to tackle a big bush. Because I neglected to trim it last year. Now it's about 7.5 foot tall.
Oh, wow.
And it's wide. And my ladder isn't quite tall enough to
Gotcha.
get to the top. But I'm going to attempt it anyway.
There you
Let's
go.
figure out how to attack that.
How to do it.
So preemptive prayers for Rob and his broken or bruised whatever when he gets.
Yeah, my
Right.
knees. Yes, remember last time I attempted the ladder, I was in the hospital. I fell off it. If you guys
I
remember.
do remember that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're gonna do it again today.
So let's not go to the hospital.
Not go to the hospital.
Get on the ladder, but don't go to the hospital.
Yeah, I'm gonna get on. I'm gonna do the ladder thing.
Well,
the problem with my-
this time wear something other than flip flops on the ladder. I'm just saying.
yeah, it might be good. It might be good
Yeah.
advice.
Yeah.
The last time I did have flip flops on, it got caught underneath one of the steps on the ladder, and that's how I fell backwards. I fell about 4 feet. Boom.
Real quick, people are asking what brisket is. Brisket is actually, it's not pork. It's cow beef.
Beef.
Yes.
Yeah.
Big piece of beef about this
If you don't
long.
cook it a gazillion
This long.
hours, then it's tough. So you got to cook it a gazillion hours.
Yeah, very slow.
right.
So it
It's
comes
very
out very
good.
tender.
Very
Very good.
You want to cook it from about 200, anywhere from 200 to 250, about 16 to 18 hours.
There you go.
You know, some people cover it, some people don't. Some people cover it halfway through. There's a lot of different techniques to cook it. I cooked competitively for a while. So yeah.
Yeah, you should
Oh,
have
we're
been on.
looking at the conference then.
Yeah, you know,
dang.
you're at the ranch.
Kidding.
Slow and low, says Candy Wolf. Thanks to everybody for coming into the chat room today and all that's listening and not in chat. Don't forget the super chat is open should you care to help us out. And of course, you can become a BMR pirate, everybody. Join today, mateys. That's right. Join the many, join the few. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Depending on your point of view.
That's right. Thanks. Thank you, Tex. You got that down. You got it down. I don't know how I came up with that. It just rhymed, you know.
Yeah. Right.
So yeah, it's kind of, you know, I don't know if it makes any sense, but it sounds cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have a smoker at my house. I have the charcoal grill and a barbecue and a gas but when I owned the bar, we did a lot of slow cooking outside during the summer. I had a couple smokers, and every once in a while we would get how shall I say, we get a little crazy and experiment with, you know, trial and error, you know, so it's more fun than anything.
Brisket's got so damn gum expensive you can't hardly afford to cook it anymore.
Yeah,
I mean, for a good brisket, you're looking at $70 or more.
Yeah.
You know.
Yep.
Well,
I like ribs.
I do ribs fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
I do the rib. I don't like the ribs that fall off the bone. You got to have a little bite to them, but
I like them to fall off
still tender.
Yeah.
I like to have a nice little chew, but not where it's just so. Certain meat's fine, but the rib I like a little, not tough, tender, but I like to bite it. And
Yeah.
I like it.
That
The
bone.
perfect rib to me is where you bite it with no problem, but it leaves a bite mark.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah.
And if I want to debone it, all I got to do is take the bone, twist it, and pull it out of the rib. You know.
No, that's pretty good. Yeah. And I do mostly baby backs. My success with the spare rib isn't as good because I don't cook them long enough, I don't think, because those get to be chewy if you don't do it correctly. Just from my experiences. But I prefer the baby back though.
Yeah, Mike, I agree. We're making me hungry too.
Yeah, we're done with the BBQ talk. I just threw that out there for
let's talk about like something nasty, like Brussels sprouts or something.
Now, those are the worst pieces of food in the world. I cannot stand the Brussels sprout.
I like Brussels sprouts. I don't like the after effects, but I like Brussels sprouts.
Oh well,
I don't like Brussels sprouts.
Yeah,
and I love grilled asparagus.
Yeah.
I don't like asparagus either. It's like eating weeds.
I like my asparagus mushy.
Mm-hmm. See, I like broccoli mushy.
I do. I like most of my vegetables mushy.
Mm-hmm.
I like my vegetables with a little bit of crunch.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I'm a fan of corn on the cob.
Yeah,
I love
like
corn on the cob.
Me too.
I don't like canned corn. Although I found frozen corn is pretty close.
Yeah. Yeah, it can be if you buy the sweet.
See, I like what we call down here field corn. A lot of people up north, they just that's cow food to them. Down here, I mean, it's a big piece of corn and it's got big kernels on it, and it's got more of an earthy flavor, but a little salt, a little pepper, some butter.
Okay.
Yeah, and I load mine with salt and butter.
Me too.
In fact,
And I like it roasted.
Yeah. Yep, that's good too. That's good too.
Yeah, I'm getting hungry right now, so I'm and so yeah, we
Right.
But
Yeah, I'm having lunch when we get off of here. That's for sure.
yeah, but it is brunch time. It's 1 o'clock where I'm at, 1:15. So I figure we'll mix it up today. There's a couple cool things. I'm going to do this quick story. I found this abduction in Alaska with a alleged Bigfoot.
Oh,
Tex, you've done a little bit of things going on. You have some cool evidence. Maybe talk about that. And of course, Krista's got a little something to share. Give you a little preamble to what she's got going on. So yeah, I figure we'd get the show kicked off with that today. And so yeah, but don't forget everybody. Oh, really quickly, Krista, we are having that pre-party on Thursday. And that's going to be quite a bit of fun too at our conference on the 19th and 20th. Just throwing that out there for all you folks coming down a day early.
Yep. Be worth it. Be worth it because it's at Big River Ranch and just, like I've never been to a conference without an after party except for ours, but we're doing a ghost hunt instead. So I think a pre-party. And that way, then we can get busy and work on Friday and Saturday. So it's going to be a lot of fun. And just come hang with us. And, we're going to hopefully do some karaoke, Tex.
I hope.
So it's a lot of fun. And then out there at the ranch too, there's, like a big fire pit and stuff. So it'd be really cool. It'd be a good time. So, you can bring lawn chairs, whatever you want to do. And
I would suggest you bring a chair. If you're driving, I would suggest you bring a chair. I will bring extra. So
yeah, it's going to be a good time. So that the pre-party is open to all speakers, special guests, and ticket holders. So it doesn't matter if you're a vendor or if you're coming just Saturday to the conference. It doesn't matter. You're welcome to come to our pre-party on Thursday.
Or if you're just going to the ghost hunt, or if you're just whatever
That's
ticket you got.
Yeah, because several people did just buy a ghost hunt ticket. So yeah, if you're just going there, you're definitely welcome to come to our pre-party. Yep, as long as you're a ticket holder, vendor, whatever, doesn't matter.
Well, Finch says, Uncle Tex, I do karaoke. Well, I got to tell you, Finch, if you were able to make it, me and you would sing Islands in the Stream, brother.
That's funny.
Yeah.
At his local Irish pub restaurant.
Love it.
Yeah, I have to have a few drinks in me to,
I do not.
Yeah, I do.
But when I do, Krista knows what happens.
Yep.
Oh boy.
Well, last time in Texas, Monica and I got up and sang Earl. Goodbye, Earl.
Yeah. Goodbye, Earl.
Mm-hmm. And we both had one tied on.
Yep.
So who knows? We may do a repeat of that.
Yeah. I already said I'm doing the mumble song.
Mm-hmm. You know what song we always do at the ranch though, and we'll probably have to get up and do it if we do it, is and I don't know why for the last 6 years we've done it there. Every time we do a karaoke party there, the song Constant Sorrow, the Soggy Bottom Boys.
That's one of the songs I plan on doing.
That is a fun one to get a bunch of people up there and do together. We do that. We used to do that all the time. So that'll be one we'll have to do, Tex.
I've been
get on
practicing.
that one.
I've been practicing it.
There you go. There you go. That's a good one to do it on, though.
That one, and I'm going to do Marie Laveau.
There you go. Yep.
Well, Tex has already got his itinerary of what he's doing, and he's been practicing.
Well, you know, us professional singers, we have to put steps together, you know.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, and too, so like, you know, if anybody out there has, so like between speakers, we're going to have like a 15-minute time, you know, like where there's nothing going on. So past conferences that I've done, I have, we put up, we play music. And so a little bit of anything that's kind of has to do with paranormal, anything. So we have everything from, and I can tell you here. So if anybody's got any songs that are kind of creepy or they're spooky or anything like that, send to me and I can add them to the playlist because like we've got everything from the Scooby-Doo theme song, you know, to here, I'll just go over a couple of them here with you because we got some good ones here. I got to tell you. So we got the Scooby-Doo theme song. We got Thriller, of course, Michael Jackson, right?
Oh boy.
Yeah. Blue Oyster Cult, Don't Fear the Reaper.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Hank Williams III, 3 Shades of Black. Have you heard that one?
Yeah. I know that one.
Iron Man, Ozzy.
Yeah.
God of Thunder, Kiss.
Oh, absolutely.
Johnny Cash, Ghost Riders in the Sky.
Uh-huh.
Rob Zombie, Living Dead Girl.
Oh, Living Dead Girl.
A Nightmare on My Street, DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince. Remember that one? That's an oldie. Feed My Frankenstein, Alice Cooper.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Bark at the Moon, Ozzy. The Monster Mash. You know that kid's
absolutely.
Yeah, I know the Monster Mash.
Stevie Wonder, Superstition.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The Purple People Eater.
Oh, yeah.
Santana, Black Magic Woman. And then Witchy Woman, the Eagles.
Yeah.
The Doors, People Are Strange.
Oh boy, yeah, for sure.
Highway to Hell, AC/DC, and Voodoo, Godsmack. So if anybody's got any other ones that's outside of that list, send them to me or Rob or Tex, and I'll add them to the playlist. You know, just anything like that. Doesn't matter the genre. We don't care. Like I said. No, Alexa, shut up. Sorry, my Alexa.
Yeah.
Just started talking.
Before I forget about it.
Yeah.
Ghost Ranch.
Mm-hmm.
Ghost of Mississippi. The Ride. Phantom 309. Woolly Swamp by Charlie Daniels. Legend of Woolly Swamp. Mm-hmm. Oh, you got to put Werewolves of London in there.
Oh, yes, of course. Where would we be without Werewolves in London?
Yeah, so like I said, guys, send them to me, send them to any of us, and then I'll make sure I get it. And then we'll, you know, add them to this playlist because that's just how we roll. So people have something to listen to. It's just not quiet between speakers, you know. It's how.
Well, and we also Dale Boswell is coming, so he can actually sing during the breaks also.
There we go.
Well, we got it all going on.
Yeah, we got a little bit of everything going on, so it's going to be a lot of fun, you know.
Yeah,
and that's the main thing. Have fun.
The main thing is to have fun, and yeah, I think it's gonna be a blast. I just can't wait. I'm not gonna wish the summer away because I love my summer.
Right.
We only get 3 months of good weather here in Michigan,
right?
And so, which hopefully is gonna turn. But with that being said,
well, and then too, you know, like the pre-party event is only 8 miles from, you know, Friday and Saturday's event, so it's not far. It's in a different town, but it's not far, and there's. You know, it's haunted there. We've had cryptid sightings there. We've had UFO sightings there. So no telling what can happen.
Yep.
Yeah, no telling.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, last year, whenever it was, I did a I got this email. I did the story on the Civil War werewolf, which allegedly, I guess, is somewhere within a few miles of this place. Hey,
Interesting.
so it's very interesting.
So there was somebody out there that he's a researcher, and he was out there at one of our events, and it was kind of interesting. On Friday night, he was talking about Bigfoot, and we were around the campfire. We were kind of down by the woods, and something was throwing things at us. And there was about 30 of us there that witnessed that. When this particular person left, it was him, his wife, and 2 kids, older grown kids. They were leaving the ranch, and a dogman crossed in front of them.
Oh, there you go.
There we go.
So there are, sites of cryptids. And that night, Brandy was one that was there with something getting thrown at us. Like I said, there's about 30 of us sitting there.
Nice.
Very nice.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. It was a interesting night. That's all I can say. And then, like I said, he's seen what he said was a dogman.
Well, we'll find out. Maybe we'll find out. Maybe we won't. Maybe we'll find some ghosts. Maybe we won't. Bottom line is, like we all been saying, we're going to have some fun. It's going to be a great, great show.
Yeah, it is. So, it is.
Yep. I'm going to kick this off with this little. I found this, you guys. I was just going through trying to find some cool, but not too long stories. I don't do. The stories I do are usually on Friday, so I like to find other things. And I found this on, it was called Alaska Magazine. And I found this just by chance, really. And I started reading this, you guys, and it was about bear behavior. And I said, okay, I'm going to read up on this a little bit. And it was, this story kind of starts unfolds out of this about an Alaskan guy by the name of Larry Canisite. He writes that he heard an interesting story that he actually had confirmed with several people to be actually something that took place in Alaska. So he goes on to explain that he says that he was writing on this blog. My friend Jack Gwaltney and I traveled to Wasilla, Alaska to meet with some guy named Ken Taylor Jr. And Jack was sharing to me this story, which I followed up on. He goes on to say, you remember that the story's source, he collaborated and came and talked to some man at a Best Western in Alaska while they're eating lunch. And then he cited this Alaskan magazine in which this guy followed up on. So he goes, the story takes place around 1985 and just outside of Anchorage, Alaska. Well, actually not outside of Anchorage, Alaska. This guy actually, after hearing the story, went to the Anchorage, Alaska library and found a whole bunch of information on this. So, it goes on. The story kind of does go like this, according to the reference here. Supposedly a Nome, AK, or Bethel pilot and his newlywed wife were en route to Anchorage, where they would make connections for their honeymoon. The weather turned sour, so he touched down in a Cessna 180 or 185 on floats. So I guess it's one of those planes, with the floats and lands in the water and stuff. He taxied to shore, where he and his wife looked for a spot to pitch their tent for the night. Having found one, he turned toward the plane to fetch the tent, with his wife following him. He heard his wife scream and turned to see a hairy bipedal creature running from the location toward the woods with his wife under one arm.
No.
Yeah. The pilot chased after this creature before realizing that he could not catch it, so he thought he would stop with his firearm and fired a shot at this creature with his wife, by the way, under her arm. Kind of a risky move, right? The pilot chased after the critter. Okay, I already read that. He shot 3 more times, the last 2 up in the air, and then he lost sight of the creature. He found a particle of cloth from his wife's garment on the trail as he went trekking after it. He either spent the night in his tent and looked for his wife the next day and flew on to Anchorage and reported the event to the Alaskan state troopers, who began a search but were unable to come up with any positive results other than strewn clothing of his wife all about the forest. This has become a cold case, and the wife has never come up again. That was short and brief, and I'm reading through this, and the guy supposedly verified a lot of this at that Alaskan library. You guys can, I don't know. We've all heard terrifying accounts, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that would probably, for me, with my new wife going on our honeymoon, if this was true and if this happened to me, you guys, I don't know. Talk about traumatic.
Oh yeah.
If this is allegedly true, and they found just nothing but her clothing, she's disappeared. A 411 carried off by a creature.
Yeah, and what I'm really curious, why she didn't have any clothes on. You know what I mean? What would make her
Her clothes was, I guess, maybe ripped off of her. My impression was that this creature's going through maybe it was getting caught on bramble and brush in the forest. Right. Maybe it was just ripped from her.
Yeah.
Or maybe this creature, when he got far away, heaven forbid, what he did, right?
Yeah. Yep. That makes more sense. Because I was thinking, why didn't she have her clothes? But then, maybe it was an actual, person or something that did something with her, make her take her clothes off. So.
Yeah, no, I think it was kind of not her choice.
Yeah.
But again,
Yeah.
Can you imagine though?
I couldn't imagine, And then, not to be found anymore, like you're gone, and then on, with no clothes. So there went her dignity, Yeah.
Sad story. Mm-hmm. Part of me hopes it's not true, but you know what? This probably does go on, you guys. I believe this does go on with. And it doesn't even have to be a cryptid creature. There's other things out there that can.
Oh, yeah.
Unfortunately, it happens. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or like Werewolf says, got turned into a Bigfoot wife.
Well, we've heard stories about, Hey, Max, what's up, brother? We've heard stories about Bigfoot, having relations with women, right? We've heard the stories.
I've heard them, but I don't know how much of that I believe.
I can't believe really any of it, but I don't know. I wasn't there. Like I said,
I wasn't either, but that's hard for me to wrap my brain around.
I don't know how that could physically even happen.
Yeah.
But
I don't know either. But
Tex, what's your thoughts on that disappearance?
Oh, I think it does happen. I've had, we've heard reports over, that go back, centuries about this stuff. Even First Nations people talk about it.
Where they take women?
Yeah. Women and children. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What was his name? It was in Oklahoma, and it took place in LaFleur. LaFleur, they call it the LaFleur massacre. And for years, it was touted to be true. And now there's, of course, like everything else, people are trying to punch holes in it and say it never happened. I don't know. But it was a terrifying encounter. And that's where there was in Oklahoma, there was a group of First Nations people. I can't remember what tribe they were. It was either, I can't remember now. But anyway, they reached out to this guy, LaFleur. Well, he was half First First Nations, and he was half French, and he was a captain in the light horse infantry, and they reached out to him because this was happening to their tribe. They were, being stolen and stuff. And so he came down to talk to him about it and ended up tracking these critters down. Well, he had 3 brothers that rode with him. And the youngest was 18 years old, and he was almost 7 foot tall. And the father, I believe, or grandfather, was touted to be almost 8 feet tall. These were big guys. Okay. And so they went track this group of critters down. If you think the story is true, there's supposedly these were Janoskwa, or the face eaters, that did this. Well, they found them, and they found the bodies of 19 children that were in various states of being fed on. And they rode in and they attacked. They charged into the camp of these critters, killing several. But on the initial charge, one of them swatted LaFleur's horse out from underneath him, and then pulled LaFleur's head off.
Wow.
And the the youngest brother wounded a creature and gave chase. And when the other 2 brothers, they killed all of them, and when the other brothers went looking for the younger brother, they found him just in time. He was straddling this beast just in time to see him decapitate him with his hunting knife. And they buried the bodies of the 19 children and LaFleur along with them.
Wow.
And LaFleur, there's a county called LaFleur County that's actually named after Captain LaFleur.
Interesting.
So but a lot of people say they can't find any records of the story, which that doesn't surprise me none. It, for lack of a better term, got whitewashed. If in fact it was true.
Right.
I find it interesting that for so many years it was touted to be true, and then the last few years people's been, oh no, this was made up, and people know the guy that made it up, that kind of stuff. But, you hear that a lot about these legendary stories.
Right.
There's even legendary pictures that are fantastic pictures, if they're in fact real. There's people out there that say they're not. And that's what we deal with,
Really briefly, Tex. One of our newer subs, Ashes, has lived in LaFleur all his or her life.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. I don't know if you've ever heard that story, but yeah. And I heard this like 19 years ago.
Wow. You know what, though? There was a comment here, and I started because I have to agree with her on this. Christy Sci-Fi, she says, the bad ones that do take people, how would a Bigfoot mate with a woman? They would kill them because they're so big. I agree with that.
I think so too. Yeah.
I would almost agree to that. But I've seen things. I'm just saying. I think it depends on how brutally, or how, I'm trying to Donnie Cho this without Donnie Cho in it.
Right.
How enthusiastically the Bigfoot went after her. I'll put it that way.
I feel like he would kill her.
I think he would kill her, and I don't want to get, as Christy says, it's a juvenile. Yeah. It just seems like, and I don't want to be all graphic and go all Donnie either. It just seems like it'd be too big, if you get what I'm saying, where you would just.
Yeah, but like I said, I've seen things. So, it's
kind of graphic. I get it.
But it's hard to say these things without saying them, but
yeah,
hopefully you'll get the gist of them.
Right.
I mean, we've heard stories of encounters with horses. I'm just saying, donkeys down south type thing. So, you know,
Yeah. No thanks. News.
Yeah.
well, you know, I'm just saying, you know, but I think it's possible. I'll put it that way. I think it's possible. Probable. I'm going to lean towards no. But do they care if they're killing them?
You know, I went, and this is honest to God truth while we're on this subject, and I can't believe I'm even going to say it.
Oh,
I went to a conference, seriously, and one of the speakers there talked about Bigfoot private parts.
Yeah.
I did like 30 minutes on it. Seriously.
30 minutes.
Yeah. True story.
It wasn't Donnie.
Wasn't Donnie. Nope.
If you want private parts, go check out Donnie's show. He talks about the schlong quite often.
Yeah.
On the Bigfoot. I don't know what his infatuation is, but we'll leave it at that.
Yeah. Next subject.
Next subject. I know Tex has got some evidence he wants to show, but before we do that, I'll save that for last. Krista, anything you can share with us moving forward, before you do one of your next shows?
So last weekend we went to Emmaus Village with Miguel Ramirez, Sasquatch Theory, and he got a lot of filming and all that good stuff, and we encountered everything from ghost, obviously, because it's very haunted there, cryptid activity in the woods. I mean, we even got like literally 4 knocks that were close, like right at us, and then the skies were crazy too. I couldn't believe how crazy that the skies were. And so my friend Terry has an app on her phone that shows you if it's a satellite. You know, she just puts her phone up there and it'll tell you if it's a satellite, and they weren't. So
let me ask you a question, Krista, because we saw something strange when we were out at Dogman Ranch too.
Mm-hmm.
We saw way too high to be planes, flying in a straight line, very, very fast. They were like, yeah, they were going right over us, and there would be like 1, 2, 3, and then a break. And then there'd be 1, 2, 3, and then a break. Now I assumed, because I you know me, I try to, and you do too, look for a logical explanation.
Right.
And I'm like, well, it's formational. It's in a straight line. It's way high up there. Am I looking at Starlink?
Right.
So I've never seen Starlink, but from what I understand, that's what it looks like.
Starlink's like, it's kind of a bunch of them that kind of go together as Starlink. But I will tell you, like, I don't know. It was really, really like the skies were really active. We couldn't believe how much activity, like just everywhere that we were getting. And so stay tuned to that, because Miguel he filmed a lot. So he's going to be putting out one of his shows on it. So.
I did want to ask you too, Christina, you bring it up, because I don't know what show I mean, we do so many shows. I think I might have been by myself, or I don't know. I don't remember. But you were with Miguel and you popped on live on your phone.
Yeah, that was this weekend.
And there was this, okay, but I just don't know what day it was when I was on. And Miguel was sitting back eating lunch, and you guys heard some howls that you guys, told me, and he thought he heard the dogman howls that night.
And honestly, I can tell you, and it always happens where you don't have your recorders ready. Literally, he had just got there, and he and I were talking there. Both of us were there. The neighbors across the street do have some roosters. I will say that. And so the rooster would cock-a-doodle-doo, and then something on this side would answer, like it wasn't cock-a-doodle-dooing, it was howling. And then another howl would come on this side of the valley. So can't explain. And at first we're like, well, we hear the roosters, but what is that after the roosters? And it was like they were communicating, because number one, they're not used to people setting tents up where Miguel set his tent up. It's right out along the woods, and probably the Sasquatch's area, where they go. So I don't know, like, were they talking? Miguel thinks it sounded like a dogman to him.
Okay.
So.
Really briefly, I don't do this all that often, but a good buddy of mine, Andy, Alien 8 UK. Now, if you want to go find a good UK researcher and has a cool channel, that's the name of his channel right there. I don't have the link. Go check him out. He's pretty. I was on his show a couple times, and he does a good job with his crew over there. So I put that out there because I've got a lot of subs. Tex, you do too, and so is Brandy Krista from the UK. Well, and so yeah, thanks to the people out in the UK, and he does a very good job. So thanks for coming in, Andy.
Yep. So anyway, it was a pretty cool weekend, and then there was a cemetery. This is creepy. I got to tell you this. So, and this is stuff Brandy and I will get more into, but so the cemetery, there's 4 of them on the property. The one that we went to, and I had put a video, I don't know, it's like a 5-minute video out, just kind of giving everybody a tour, but it's not been taken care of at all. And it goes all the way back to the late 1700s, early 1800s. And some of the headstones, some of the graves though, we were told by the owners that they're only buried 2 feet down.
Mm-hmm.
And there were also 2 graves, I kid you not, that looked like something had dug them up.
Mm.
Oh, wow.
I can't say it was anything, supernatural,
Right.
but I'm not going to go dig up some graves. You know what I mean? And it's in the middle of the woods. Like, nobody knows it's there. You can't even like fly a drone over it because it's so overgrown. You couldn't even see the drone.
You would not dig up a grave, Krista?
No.
Tex, would you?
Don't see that I'd ever have a reason to.
Right. And that's what, like I don't know. I feel like that they just need the respect to be left alone. But, I don't know. It's just the cemetery is just really in sad shape. And then, those 2 were like dug up, like something had been digging. Not with a shovel either, guys.
Like recently? Or
yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So we had actually the Ozark Hairy Man was there with us too, and he said it was like it's something with hands. It's not nothing with a shovel or anything like that. So I don't know. It's just weird.
Well, you do know. Well, I don't.
You guys need to get over here to Emmaus. Gotta tell you.
Yeah, I But you do know, we've heard, I mean, I don't know if this is fact, of course, as I've heard this so many times, where dogman, they patrol the graves. They're around cemeteries, and they've been known to dig up around headstones, whatever they're looking for. I don't know.
Right.
Some suggest there's ghouls, which is not a dogman, or maybe a dogman is part ghoul, or has ghoul, or maybe a dogman is a ghoul, for all we know, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
Taking the form of a beast, a werewolf.
Yeah, it's just a weird weekend, and I'm ready to go back and do it again.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, because the ghost thing is okay, but it was funny because like Miguel and the Ozark Hairy Man, they're not really ghost people. I mean, they've been exposed, but it's not their thing. They'd rather be out in the woods looking for Bigfoot and dogman. And the Ozark Hairy Man, it was funny. He was in the back of Emmaus, of the asylum, out of all buildings, up on the 4th floor, and there's a deck out there. So he had his parabolic mic out, listening, in the woods and stuff, and the lights inside the building started flashing. Nobody was in there, and he got his stuff and he got out of there real quick. He's like, I don't play with that stuff. I'll play with the ghost. So he was done. He left because the ghost got busy. So
Well, it sounds like a very active weekend. Those are always fun.
It was. And then Brandy had a straggler, and I'll let her talk about that. But yeah.
She's good at that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know why they always go with her. Knock on wood, I've never brought anything home. As many years I've been doing
Brandy's got this, they attached to her.
Yeah.
It seems.
I've never, knock on wood, brought anything in. I've been doing this since 2007. like forever. And I've never brought anything home. But I don't know if it's because like my intentions, are pretty powerful.
Right.
I don't know. But I don't have issues.
We never asked Brandy, but maybe your intentions are to pick something up.
I don't know. I don't know.
I never asked her. That'd be a good question.
Yeah. And she's nicer than I am too, honestly, because like, it's like, no BS, you're not coming home with me. And, with her, she just says, stay here or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I tell it more forceful than she does.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You put your foot down where she's more, wishy-washy, I guess is the word maybe.
Exactly. And I'll tell it like it is. She says it nicely.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She does it with the Swiss Miss,
right.
background going on.
Right. Right.
Tex, you've also had some pretty cool stuff that I'd like you to talk about, if you would. I know you've been prepping some things backstage there. And and let's get into that in a minute. I've got right there. I got to step away for just a second. But yeah, Tex kind of prep the people. And I will be back to join you with your fantastic evidence you got, man.
Thank you, brother.
You're welcome.
I'm going to put this up here. And so what this is, y'all, most of you, I would imagine, have heard us talk about the handprints that we pulled out of Brown Springs.
Mm-hmm.
And that was, and I had to look for the date. It was January 16th, 2023. And
has it been that long ago?
Yeah, believe it or not.
Wow. Okay.
No, time flies, right?
Yeah.
Now, these handprints appeared within a 30-minute window, about 10 o'clock at night.
Mm-hmm.
And I was actually doing a live. I was up in the cemetery there, and my safety team ranger and his son were down at the bottom, about 100 yards away. And I was doing my live. I was walking around the cemetery, and my phone went dead. Well, they rushed up to get me, make sure I was okay.
Mm-hmm.
And when we found each other and everything, we talked for a little bit, and we came back down. It was about 30 minutes. When we came back down, we noticed we had handprints all over our trucks, but we also noticed that they had left in such a rush to come up there and make sure I was okay, that they'd left the keys in his truck. They'd left thousands of dollars of electronics in his truck. The tailgate was a bear-proof Yeti cooler in the back, and it was closed and latched. When we came back down, the keys were still there. All the electronics were still there, had not been messed with. But the tailgate was down, and the cooler had been opened and closed, but not latched back. There was water and ice dribbled over the tailgate, like where something had dipped its hand or hands into the ice chest, scooped out some ice water, and took a drink. So we get to looking even more, and we found handprints all over both trucks. None of them were higher than like the edge of the bed of these trucks. Now, I drive a Dodge 4-wheel drive, and it's not a jacked up truck. You've seen it, Krista. It's a stock truck. It's not high up at all. And all these handprints that we saw they were not only below the edge of the truck, they were reaching upward. So we determined, to our best of our knowledge, that these things were either crouched down walking around the trucks,
mm-hmm.
or they were short enough to have to reach up to leave those handprints. Either way, and they very well could have been crouched down because trying to stay low and stay hidden. So sneaking, and that's kind of what it looked like. They were sneaking around and looking around the trucks maybe and stuff like that. There was a set of handprints on the top of his cab, right on the edge of the top of his cab, where they were on the cab like this, and right between them, there was water drip between them. So we theorized that whatever this was that took a drink out of the cooler had jumped in the back of the truck, leaned over the top of the cab, and watched them run up the hill to get me. Now, out of all these handprints, the one you're seeing right now, and I'll see if I can get a better view of it. There we go. That was the best one out of the bunch. Now, this is a full handprint, palm, all 5 fingers, and a forearm print down below at the bottom. You'll see that. The hair was so thick on this forearm, it looks like it was done with a paintbrush.
Mm-hmm.
Now, one of the things about all these handprints, they were all smaller, quite a bit smaller than anybody's hands on the crew. Okay. But, and we tried to replicate this with our own hands, but we couldn't replicate the spread and the position of the thumb versus the fingers on this print. It's like the thumb is located somewhere else on the hand. Now, these prints were so good that they left dermal ridges.
Mm-hmm.
The one on the left is the thumbprint from that print that y'all were looking at. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what's interesting about these prints, and I've had these looked at by law enforcement, by wildlife experts, human fingerprints swirl without exception. They swirl. Primates go horizontal. That's what I was told. Every person that I asked and that had expertise in this kind of thing told me the same thing. I don't know what it is. I can't tell you what it is, but it's not human. So we've been sitting on this for years and years and years. Well, no, I say years and years and years, a few years. With what we thought was the best evidence of possible Bigfoot. And then yesterday, while I was at work, we have a homepage and it, pops up recent news and all that kind of stuff. And this on the right popped up in my feed. This was found in Spain on a rock. And they say they believe that it's a Neanderthal had left a fingerprint. They think it's a thumb or an index finger while possibly painting a cave painting.
Wow.
Look at them. They're both horizontal. They do not swirl.
Right.
Yeah, and then one on the left, I'm glad Donnie chose that here. It looks like a long digit.
Well, there is some smudge. I mean, the fingers were dragged at one point, but you can also see where the thumb had, the pressure had eased up. You can see where there was more shallow dermal ridges. You can see traces of them, and they're all still straight across.
Yeah.
So what's interesting is you take these side by side, and then you merge them.
Mm-hmm.
And let me play this real quick. Because I put it behind there and I faded it into the other one, and then fade right back in, probably right back out again here in a minute. But they're very, very close to each other. So I don't know what we're looking at here, folks. Are we looking at a possible, if this is a Neanderthal fingerprint that they found, is it possible that we have a Neanderthal-like being wandering around Brown Springs? Or at least we did in 2023. Yeah. Because they dated this other thumbprint that is supposedly a Neanderthal. I believe Donnie looked it up last night. I believe it was 48,000 years old.
Wow.
So we've got something walking around in modern day that if we go by what the picture says, what the findings are, that it say it is a Neanderthal. We've got that tells me that there's a Neanderthal or something that's got enough Neanderthal DNA in it to have the same fingerprints as a Neanderthal. If we look at it from a cryptid standpoint, a Bigfoot standpoint, that tells us a couple of things. One, Bigfoot did cave paintings. And two, they haven't changed a whole lot. And we're seeing them in 2023. So in my mind, no matter how you look at this, I think it's a huge breakthrough in the cryptid community. So, yeah, that's what we're looking at. We also pulled a handprint, which is larger than anybody's on the crew at a different campsite several months later. And it was a very oily print. And we pulled that off of Nick's SUV, and we have that frozen, and we do have somebody that's going to send it off for DNA. So that's where we found the P spot and everything right below it. We did not take samples of the P spot because we had already peed there. There was no reason for it, because the first thing they're going to tell you is that it's contaminated. Well, of course it's contaminated. We knew it was contaminated, so there's no reason to even submit. But we do have a picture of it. I mean, and it's cool. The P spot, I mean, you could see our little P spots, and then this thing was like 2.5 feet across.
Tex, pull that up really quickly again, that last picture. If you can't, if you can't.
No, I got it.
That, okay, yeah. Okay, yeah, that one, yeah. Well, that one too. Show that if you can. That right there. Okay, that on the left. And then if you go back to the prints on your windshield.
Go.
I
Okay.
might have missed this when you were gone. If you just look at that. And then with the thumb. Okay, stop. Yeah. Well, okay. Okay, the far left where the thumb would be, that's identical to that other one. Is it not? If you look at it, it's got the same length. It's got the same shape at the top. You follow me?
Which one? What are you talking about?
I think that's the one that he had up, Rob.
Okay. So, I thought that was
That was the thumb. Did you have the thumbprint up?
Yeah.
Are those the same ones? I thought these might have been different text.
No. This is the full print right here is what we're looking at.
And the other one you just I got
that is just a thumb. That is a zoomed in version.
Okay. I thought this was something captured somewhere else, which is identical.
No.
Okay, but you're just showing the comparison between that and the one on the right.
Right.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, I say we, but I think I can speak for us. We are very excited about this.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
I sent this video to Doug Hychek, and he goes, he was blown away. He was blown away by this. So very, very excited about this. Because I don't see anybody else hardly at all bringing this kind of stuff. With this kind of comparison. I really don't.
Yeah.
I would love to see more of it.
Yeah, you hit the Bigfoot lottery when they touched your truck and you got that. The hands were dirty and for sure.
So really quickly too, text one of our Nathan in our chat room says So Bigfoot could be a separate branch of evolution of humans or from
Yeah.
humans.
Absolutely. I mean, I don't know if we're looking at some kind of hybrid here. I don't know if we're looking at a subspecies of human. I don't know if we're looking at Bigfoot.
Right.
That could be, and that very well could be all of them. I don't know. But something, some kind of relic hominid of some sort left both these prints. Thousands of years apart. And they're very, very close to matching.
Very similar. Yep. Pretty cool.
So there you go, folks. Make of it of what you will, but I would appreciate if you go take the time, watch the video. You can, blow it up. You can pause it. And I will say this, I do have, and I had these made. I had these made before I found the comparison photo that I've got up there. But I had these prints blown up, and they're not absolutely to scale, you can tell, but they're a little bigger. But they will be on display at the conference at my table, so you can come by and take a look at them. What we did find out, and Ranger, I had 3 of them made. I gave Ranger one. What we did discover with this blown up like this, you can see the remnants of the rest of the palm.
Yep.
So,
You're kind of muffled the remnants of the rest of the palm,
rest
correct?
of the palm, yeah. So yeah, we're stoked. I mean, we were like kids, we were giddy as little schoolgirls when we found it. But, on the drugs.
And I think that's very cool that Doug he took he's doing a DNA test for you, isn't he?
I believe so.
Yeah, he
That's
said he.
the plan anyway.
Well, yeah.
That'd be cool. I'm really anxious to hear what Doug comes back with.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
I suspect that it will come back. Oh well, it's contaminated. It's human.
Yeah. Well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. However, humans, I got swirlies.
Yeah.
Swirlies there. Yeah. Regardless, it's really cool.
Right. Well, thank you.
No, I like that. That's why I'm glad you're on today, Tex. I'm glad you had the day off, so you could show that. Because I know you've done it several times, and I think it's well worth showing people because not everybody sees all the channels and sees that, and that's very worthy to put out there because it shows people that. And Tex, you do great work out there in the field. Tex is in the field. I mean, the Blondes and the Boos are in the field a lot too, and they do great work as well. And yeah, it's rewarding when you're out in the field and you come up with nothing. Then you come up with finally, after months, years sometimes, right, Tex? And you finally get something that's worthy to show, right?
I mean, how often do you go out and you don't see anything or capture anything? I mean, it's all the time. Like I said, you literally hit the Bigfoot lotto.
Yeah, I think so.
I think that's a great idea, bringing that print blown up like that to the conference.
Yeah.
September 19th and 20th, everybody. Richmond, Missouri. Can
From
meet all of us.
For the party.
18th is the party. We'll all be there. We've got 20 speakers and featured guests that most of you know. Some you don't know, but they all are going to provide great information. And it's going to be a great time, like we said earlier. Have a lot of fun. So yeah, this is going to be a great event, and I'm glad you're bringing that, Tex. That's a great idea.
I appreciate that. Yeah, and I will be emceeing another conference, the Alabama conference, up in Anniston, June 7th. So, and of course, the pictures will be on the table there. So,
cool.
Anybody that's in that neck of the woods,
Well, even if they're in that neck of the woods, they can still come to our conference.
Oh, absolutely. They don't need to miss our conference.
You're going to bring the flyers to the Alabama conference.
Oh, I am.
I know you are. I'm just I'm just over marketing our other events.
Our event's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Conferences in general, though, they're always a good time.
They're always fun. Yes.
Went to Townsend, Tennessee one. That was great. You just get to meet a lot of people and, learn from people. And I just enjoy that kind of stuff. Hey, Chris.
Hey, Bigwood Dwarf, I think we've gone over this before. Did you find any footprints around the handprints, Tex, that night?
Well, I will tell you, by the time we got back down and we had walked around the trucks and before we even noticed the handprints,
Mhm.
and by the time we noticed the handprints and we were such awe of the handprints, we didn't even think about freaking footprints. And we had screwed up the dirt so bad that it was like, well, but out of that mistake, we have started doing something new. If we park, especially in that area, but any place where it's sandy, we started bringing a rake with us. And when we leave, before we leave, we rake the area around the trucks.
Mhm. Makes sense.
So, but we do have footprints from that area, absolutely. So,
Very cool.
and several of them show a pronounced, what do you call it, mid-tarsal break.
Thank you, Chris. Appreciate
Thank you,
that,
Chris.
Chris.
Mhm.
So yeah, very excited about that.
Yeah, absolutely. Very cool. Lots of good stuff happening and coming up, and
Mm-hmm.
it's summer, so it means we'll be out in the woods and these haunted locations more. So hopefully we'll have more stuff to bring everybody, all of us.
Yeah, all of us. And another thing about Tex, you guys got to check out Texas Front Porch's channel because he's got a couple of shorts he did. And you guys, Tex also not only is Tex boots on the ground, Tex takes to the water. Tex was in the Red River.
No, I was not in the
Or
Red
no,
River.
not the Red River. It was a Red River of some sort. It appeared.
No, it was a spring-fed creek over on Dogman Ranch.
Dogman
But
Ranch.
unfortunately,
Okay.
all the rain we've had down here, it was very, very murky. We couldn't do any underwater filming.
Yes.
We were geared up to do it, but the visibility didn't allow us to.
Yes,
But we did go.
Tex was geared up in the water, looking for evidence. Submerged in the creek. Yeah. So Tex.
There are alligators in their Tex?
Yeah,
Not that we found.
Yeah, I wouldn't be getting any water with alligators. I'm just throwing that out there.
You can't get into a lake in Texas and not have alligators.
I wouldn't be getting in any lake in Texas then. We don't have that problem here in Missouri. I'll stick with Missouri.
Probably gets too cold up there. Be my guess.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Well, Eric Frey, what were you trying to film in the water? That creek is just packed full of fossils, and the deeper spots have never been. I would love to see those fingerprints that you're talking about, unacknowledged. I really would.
Mm-hmm.
But they've never been explored. So there's no telling what fossils are underneath the water in these deeper spots that's never been found. And I've got a video that I'm going to put up. It's me driving out you'll see how far it is on the private road just to get to camp. And you're going to get to see the lay of the land and stuff. But how cool would it be to find a dinosaur print?
That'd be cool.
Absolutely.
I mean, we'd have to make all kinds of phone calls, archaeologists, all kinds of stuff. But we would be credited with finding it and have the first footage of it. I mean, and finding something that's arguably millions of years old, that nobody has ever seen. I mean, that's just phenomenal. So I don't just do the cryptid and paranormal. We're looking for other stuff too.
Oh yeah,
Sure.
Well, we've expanded since we've all been together. We do everything. The Blondes and the Boos were paranormal. Now they are paranormal and they're cryptids.
Well, it all goes together. So why wouldn't you?
Everything is related and unacknowledgeable as. So we are live every day. We pretty much are. I'm on Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays. Krista's on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Tex is on Monday, Wednesday. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, you got me and Danielle that on Mondays, and then you got.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm co-hosting over on Southern Bell Bigfoot on Sunday.
Oh, yeah. So we're on. Turn on the alert bells. If you're new, please subscribe and turn on the alert bell because there's 7 days in the week. If there was 10 days in a week, we'd be on 10 days. You can always catch one of us all together or separate, and we do guest shows. We do interviews or researchers, and our shows are all very they're variety shows, all encompassing all this strange phenomena. So they're great watches with great people.
I even give flower garden tips on my.
That works.
Yeah, well, we've talked about food at quite length. We did the Hellman's Duke show for 40 minutes, for gosh sakes.
We sure
Yeah.
did.
I mean, it was
I
crazy.
got a video of me cooking ham and beans, and
Yes.
and then a public service announcement about degassing your beans afterwards.
Bottom line is we like to mix it up. We like to have fun. Sometimes we have silly shows, and sometimes we have serious shows, and we just got to mix it up for a broad variety of people. And we certainly have expanded since we've been all together for well over 4 years now. So great shows all together, including Donnie Cho, who's lurking. There's Donnie.
Yeah, he's in there.
Donnie Cho says stuff.
Our special guest.
He's our special, very
He's
special.
He's special, all right.
Yeah,
He's a special guy. Special guy.
Yep.
But
Definitely special.
Oh, Donnie, I have to call you later about something that only you and I have to discuss. So I'll keep that under wraps.
and don't forget. I don't know if I didn't. I may have missed it. The Paranormal Portal.
Oh yes, we have another good one. Go check out Brent.
We have Brent coming on tomorrow night with me and Brandy.
Oh, that's awesome.
And Brent co-hosts with me sometimes on this show when Tex is not available, or Krista, and Tex co-hosts sometimes with Brent on his channel too. So we're like all over the galaxy.
Yep. Fun. Lots of good stuff coming up.
And Tyler's right. Tyler 420 is right. He says Tex looks like the guy who says with a little bit of zippy zap sauce. I like a little zippy zap sauce every once in a while.
Zippy zap sauce?
Zippy zap sauce. I like that.
Yeah, I'm a big sauce guy. One of my pantries is full of nothing but zippy zap sauce. What I mean by that is all sorts of hot and spicy sauces.
Yeah.
I read it as whiskey.
Well, that's a zippy zap.
That's what I'm calling zippy zap.
A zippy zap on karaoke night.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
See you later, MK Ultra.
See you later.
All right, thanks, MK. Thanks to everybody for thanks to everybody for coming on in.
Yeah. Absolutely. Good stuff.
This is a good show. Hi, Hillbilly Herb. If you're new, please subscribe to our channels. It's Texas Front Porch, the Blondes and Blues Paranormal Podcast, Bigfoot Michiganrob, Donnie Cho Says Stuff, Paranormal Paul, which is called Paranormal Among Us, and Monica Rollins, our Paranormal World. And check out Daniel Diva at Daniel Diva. Great shows for everybody. And I guess you guys were kind of running out of time, so I'm going to cut a little early, you guys. I got some things I need to do. Krista's got to go to bed. Tex, thanks for coming on. Really briefly around the horn, today is Thursday. We'll be doing Krista. You'll be joining me Saturday with Brandy and Monica for the late show. Tex, are you in or out? You don't know yet. You told me.
Don't know yet.
Kelly.
Thank you, Kelly from Canada's finest. Kelly Sandiford. Thank you so much, Kelly. And then so tonight is Thursday. Tonight you're on tonight, Krista. What you got going on?
We actually have Missouri State Penitentiary.
Oh,
our team, our paranormal team, is coming on. Done a lot of homework and about the different serial killers and the crazy things that happen there, and the paranormal side of things. And yeah, I've been told there's a crematorium there that I didn't know about. So I want to. And then we have somebody who actually did some time. He's also going to come on with the team too.
Oh, cool.
So.
Nice.
Yeah, that'll be a good one. That'll be a good one. And so
and tomorrow night is Brent. Yep.
Yeah. Okay, very good. And Tex, of course, you'll be back with us on Monday. I don't know if that show's lined up yet. What you got going on Monday? You're on mute, Tex.
Sorry, vacuum cleaner's going. I should be back by Monday. I'm leaving. Or wait a minute, no, my bad. I will be there. I will be doing a show Monday, and then I'm leaving Tuesday for Alabama. So,
okay, good. Well, that sounds great. Thank you, Tex, for spending your time on your day off. Krista, thank you for blowing off work to be with me. No, I'm just kidding.
Yep.
She worked today. She worked.
I did.
And thanks to everybody for coming on in. Also, thanks to Kelly Sandifer once again. And thank you to Chris. Is that Chris Kramer? I don't know.
Yes, Chris Kramer.
For the super chat as well. Hit the like button on your way out, everybody. Please subscribe to all of us. Turn on the alert bells because we're on 7 days a week, damn near. And you don't want to miss a show. It's a lot of information and good times for everybody. Again, some of we get silly sometimes, like on Saturday nights, or more serious. So we mix it up, as I said.
Yep.
Eventbrite conference, you guys, you got to get down there. September 19th and 20th. It's going to be a great event. We'll all be there. Hopefully we see all you as well. And with that being said, I'll run the advertisement so you guys that are new can check it on the out. And with that being said, for Krista and for Tex, BMR, we are out.
See ya.
This is the future. Evolution.
the Crossing Realms Conference launches September 19th and 20th and will dock in Richmond, Missouri. This is already being called the event of the year, folks, with an unprecedented list of speakers and special guests, 2 days of cryptids, UFOs, and paranormal presentations, along with a celebrity-filled ghost hunt, meet and greet, gallery reading, vendors, and a film screening. This promises to be both educational and fun. Go to Eventbrite.com to secure your tickets and vendor slots before they are all abducted. They're going fast.